Notches in phones started in 2017 with the Essential phone and has carried on recently with the Apple iPhone X. Sharp released their take on this with the Aquos S2 back in August 2017. Not normally found outside Southeast Asia, we were interested to see if this Sharp lived up to its budget price tag. Let's find out. The first thing you notice when you take the S2 out of the box is the compact size and how lightweight it is at 140 grams. The back of the phone is made of plastic, whereas the sides are covered with aluminium and curved corners. The glossy back on the black model is a fingerprint magnet, but no such issue if you select the white version. The S2 is refreshingly one-handed in size when every phone is going in the opposite direction. On the right are the volume and power buttons. On the left is a hybrid dual SIM micro SD card slot. At the bottom is the USB-C connector with a loudspeaker and a microphone. There's no headphone jack on this phone. An adapter is included in the box. The top of the display houses a large front camera and a thin slit for the earpiece. The area with the front-facing camera also houses a proximity and ambient light sensor. A small LED notification light sits at the top of the phone. The bottom of the screen is taken up by the small bezel for the slim fingerprint sensor and Sharp logo. On-screen navigation controls have been used instead of physical buttons. The display is where the Sharp Aquos S2 stands out. Power it up and you instantly see three standout features. Firstly, the central notch for the top front-facing camera, aka Essential phone. Secondly, the Sharp engineers decided to be different by cutting the top corners diagonally. And thirdly, the near bezel-less display covers 87.5% screen-to-body ratio. The S2 has a retina burning 550 nit brightness, great for outdoor usage in bright sunlight. The gorgeous IPS panel is a sharp 5.5 inch with a 1080 by 2040 resolution, protected by a 2.5D Corning Gorilla Glass at a 17 by 9 aspect ratio to accommodate the top camera notch. The phone will auto-adapt to third-party apps in this ratio, or the normal ratio of 16 by 9. After over 2 months of using the phone as a daily driver, you don't notice the notch or the top corners whatsoever. This review unit of the Aquos S2 came with a Snapdragon 630 processor with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. While we weren't expecting any miracles, the Aquos S2 managed to perform better than expected. Launching apps, switching between them, scrolling and such was all performed brilliantly without needing to curse at it. Gaming performance too was alright as long as we didn't push the graphics settings to the max. Let's take a look at some real world gaming. As for the other aspects of the performance, we liked the quick and accurate fingerprint reader that was located conveniently on the front. The network and dual band AC wireless performance was also as one would expect it to be. Lastly, the single loudspeaker at the bottom was indeed quite loud but also tinny, best used at medium volume. One thing that was annoying, when making calls you have to reposition the thin slit where the receiver speaker is housed to the middle of your ear to hear what the other person is saying. Otherwise, if it's not quite right, the other person sounds like they're whispering. The Aquos S2 in our regular use, the phone frequently gave us about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time. This includes taking pictures, using social media applications, browsing the web, and some phone calls. Despite the small 30-20 mAh battery, the efficient Snapdragon 630 processor is power frugal, making going through an entire day and a half of use easy peasy. The S2 has Quick Charge 3.0 for rapid recharging of the battery, great for topping up a few minutes before going out. The Aquos S2 runs Sharp Smile UX on top of Android 7.1.1 Nougat. Smile UX for the most part isn't particularly intrusive or overbearing like some of the other Android skins out there. The launcher is very basic. It has the same iOS style app layout that everybody loves to hate. There is no application drawer and all the app icons sit on the home screen pages. Of course, one could easily install Google or Microsoft Launcher instead. On this imported model, it came pre-installed with a rooted international firmware. Therefore, NFC was disabled, camera processing had a lag to it, and certain features were missing like bokeh camera effect and dual apps. Luckily, with the power of Google, you can easily find instructions to download and install the latest official Sharp firmware upgrade. And what a difference it made. Google Pay works, camera processing and certain bugs gone, bokeh effect on the camera app, plus the bonus of having Sharp's updates. Hopefully Sharp will fix two issues. Firstly, SMS receiving is hit and miss. Secondly, app updates within Play Store sometimes halts until you restart the phone. Comment below if you have come across any of these software bugs. Connectivity on the S2 is the usual affair of wireless 802.11 AC, Bluetooth 4.2, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, plus the added bonus of a phone in this price range, NFC for contactless card payment using Google Pay. The audio jack has been stripped by the Sharp engineers in favour of using A2DP over Bluetooth. Naturally, a USB-C to phono adapter is included if you're old school and prefer a cable connection to your headphones. The Aquos S2 has a 12 megapixel camera at the back with a f1.75 aperture and dual pixel phase detection autofocus. A second rear 8 megapixel camera acts as a depth sensor, finished off at the back with a two-tone LED flash. The front camera is an 8 megapixel camera with a f2.0 aperture for selfies. The usual beautify option is available on a scale of 1, mild beautify, to 7, I need plastic surgery. The camera app is easy to use with all the usual features that you would expect. One of them is the Pro mode, which lets you adjust the shutter speed, ISO, white balance and focusing. Due to the 5.5-inch display, pressing the small text or camera app options can be tricky. If you've been following our past phone reviews, most Far East budget imports have disappointing cameras, poor to average at best, so the holy grail has been to find one budget phone with a decent camera to use as a daily driver. The Sharp Aquos S2 doesn't disappoint. So to our surprise, the S2 took some really good looking pictures. Images look clean, with great detail, natural colours and accurate white balance. The HDR filter sometimes overexposes and saturates the photo. However, more often than not, with the default settings, you could get great shots. The focus is quick and hardly any lag when taking images. Low light was good, again for the phone of this price range, helped by the f1.75 aperture on the main lens. The background bokeh feature resulted in some excellent images. The camera app lets you adjust the background blur effect before taking a picture on a scale of 1 to 7. Compared to other budget phones, this bokeh effect is actually usable. The rear camera can record 4K video at up to 30 frames per second. You can also record in 1080p or 720p, but they're also locked to 30 frames per second. 4K video quality was quite decent, however the video can be terribly shaky due to the lack of any kind of image stabilization. The audio was also not great and sounded lifeless. The phone also lacked any kind of slow motion video mode, but what do you expect at this price point? Priced at £238 or $320, the Sharp Aquos S2 is a surprise package. The S2 has a thin and light design that is quite compact by today's standards, practically fitting into a jean or shirt pocket without stretching it. The Snapdragon 630 in this review model is generally good performance and great battery life. The simple and straightforward UI is easy to navigate, the display is a joy to use, and the camera is a surprise gem with excellent photo quality images. The not so great include the bizarre camera notch and cut out corners. OIS on the camera and an audio jack would have been nice too. However, none of these are deal breakers. You don't notice the notch and corners after a short time, and would rather take a selfie with a top position camera than a bottom front camera looking up at your chin and nostrils. The Sharp Aquos S2 is priced on average £50 or $70 above the other budget Chinese imports. We would happily pay this for the better camera, NFC and Snapdragon 630 chip with good performance and amazing battery life. What do you guys think? Leave your comments and discuss below. Hope you guys enjoyed the review of the Sharp Aquos S2 phone. Please click on the like button if you enjoyed this review video and subscribe if you would like to watch more of our tech videos. Thanks for watching. Cheers.